Welcome to the Unsleever. Today's video covers the discography of one of the most innovative and unique artists in music, Björk.
Björk. Okay. It rhymes with Björk.
I got into her quite late in her career, but I'm so glad I did, as her discography hides many gems. I listened to her albums on vinyl back to back, so I will rank them from least to most favorite and share my thoughts on each pressing. For this video, I wanted to focus only on her studio albums, so I have left out soundtrack albums like Selma's Songs and Drawing Restraint. At number 10, I have to place Utopia. I really struggle connecting to this record. I think it's an interesting concept to form songs around flutes and a softer, more positive theme than its predecessor, Vulnicura. There are many beautiful details in production, but I just can't get into it, sadly. This is the original black pressing from 2017, and it's one of her best sounding vinyl. There is good separation and it sounds full and very quiet. My favorite songs are Arise in My Senses, Blissing Me, The Gate, and Future Forever. Next, at number 9, I would place Biophilia. I love the art direction on this album. It is a highly conceptual project that came together with an app. The album was born from her interest and concern for nature conservation, so it is also partially an educational album. This is the 2016 reissue from Germany. The record sounds really good, quiet and dynamic, although there are pops and clicks in some parts, and I noticed some compression in Solstice. I really love the choir arrangements, despite only ever coming back to 3 tracks. These are Thunderbolt, Crystalline and Career Highlight, Mutual Core. At number 8, I'd place Vulnicura. I was quite surprised that this didn't end up higher, as I used to like it more, but this time it felt like such a dense album. It is full of grief and anger over the breakup of her relationship with Matthew Barney. I still think it has a few highlights, but as an album overall, I prefer others. This is the original 2015 deluxe edition with the slipcase. The pressing has quite a bit of surface noise on disc 1, however this too is a bit better. Mastering is good, but it's missing some punch in my opinion. My favorite songs are the gorgeous Stone Milker, Black Lake, Family and Not Get. Number 7 would be Fossora, her latest album at the time of this video. I quite enjoy this album and its exploration of themes like belonging or motherhood. I also love the art direction, but well, Björk is second to none when it comes to visuals, so that's no surprise. I like coming back to this album as there are no tracks that I have the urge to skip. I find her later albums are a bit more challenging to get into, so this was a welcome surprise. The pressing I have here is the original pressing with some of the songs not in their final form, as there are earlier versions of Ovule, Ancestress and Her Mother's House. The sound is immaculate on this pressing, and my favorite songs are Atopos, Ovule, Sorrowful Soil, Fossora and Her Mother's House. Next up is Debut, her first solo album. It is an eclectic mix of songs and great introduction of Björk as a solo artist. There is an exuberance to this album that really makes it special. This edition came out in 2021 and the artwork is a really bad scan, unfortunately. Thankfully, it sounds great, if a little bit quiet. My favorite songs are Human Behavior, Venus as a Boy, One Day, Come to Me and Violently Happy. At number 5, I would place Volta. This was a surprise as well, as I thought it would be lower on my list, but I really enjoy listening to this album with the transitions included, as I feel they are essential. I listened to a Björk podcast series from 2022 called Sonic Symbolism, and it is a must for any Björk fan. The Volta episode was probably my favorite, as she described her experience creating this album while on a boat trip. I think this influenced the range of styles with the boat transitions in between, giving us an eclectic mix of genres and experimentation. This physical edition was the first pressing and it is so quirky and fun, I love it. I don't even mind that I had to cut through the front sticker to open it. The pressing sounds very full and dynamic, but there is a bit of surface noise here and there. I also noticed some distortion in my juvenile. My favorite tracks are Earth Intruders, Wanderlust, Innocence, Pneumonia, and Declare Independence. My number 4 is her second album, Post. Just like her debut, she created an eclectic mix of sounds, but there are already hints of the experimentation in sound that she would develop in later albums. The vinyl edition is the 2016 repress from Germany. Volume is pretty quiet and there are pops and clicks throughout. Favorite songs are Army of Me, Hyper Ballad, Enjoy, Isobel, and possibly Maybe. Opening the top 3 is the amazing Medulla. This is arguably her first concept album in which she created everything almost entirely with human voices. I think it's such a triumph, no pun intended, and a true testament of Björk as a composer and producer. I also think some of the ideas she introduced in this album would be picked up for some of her later albums. The pressing is also the 2016 German repress and it is amazing. It plays at 45 RPM and despite having a little bit of sibilance, it is one of her best sounding pressings. My favorite tracks are Where is the Line, Who is It, Desire Constellation, Oceania, and Triumph of a Heart. At number 2, the iconic Homogenic. This album is highlight after highlight, a true masterpiece and probably the one I would recommend anyone who has never listened to a Björk album. This is the album where strings started having a major presence and style-defining quality. I have to highlight what an amazing string arranger Björk is as well. The pressing is full, quiet and dynamic, just lovely all around. My favorite songs are Hunter, Unravel, Bachelorette, All is Full of Love and my all-time favorite song by her, Yoga. And finally, my favorite Björk album is, of course, Vespertine. This album is so special to me. It feels like a warm hug every time I listen to it. Sometimes there are albums that I love so much that I find hard to describe which elements are what make me love it. This is one of them and also one of my favorite albums of all time. There's also a bunch of B-sides that I highly recommend. The pressing sounds great. I noticed a bit of sibilance in a few parts, but nothing too annoying. My favorite tracks are Hidden Place, It's Not Up to You, Pagan Poetry, Heirloom, and Unison, and well, all the others. That's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please share it with your friends, like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments how would you rank Björk's albums. Thanks for watching, see you next time.